On this episode of Office Hours with Dr. Guy, Dissertation Lies. Bring your questions to Office Hours with Dr. Guy. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Guy, founder of thedissertationmentor.com and author of The Dissertation Warrior, and I'm so excited to get with you in this episode to talk about the dissertation lies that I think are most present in doctoral candidates, the things, the beliefs that live inside doctoral skulls that often hinder these candidates from making progress in their dissertation. I get lots of questions via my website, thedissertationmentor.com. I want to hit you with some of the lies that I hear most often. Anne comments, I feel like a complete fake. Hey Anne, welcome to the show. Feeling like a complete fake. There is this thing called imposter syndrome. It is so present in the doctoral candidate community. It's present in nearly every place where people are trying to do amazing things. And so I want to talk to you about 3 ways to overcome imposter syndrome, this feeling that I don't belong here, this feeling that this work is not for me, this feeling that, and this is really the mark of imposter syndrome, that I have fooled everyone along the way in my dissertation path, in my doctoral candidacy, into believing that I could do this, when in fact I can't do this. And somehow I slipped in. Somehow my application just made it in there, or I just said just the right words to convince everyone that I was capable of doing this work, when in fact that I'm not. It is a complete lie. It's an absolute lie. The imposter syndrome is that part of you that is doubting that you can complete this project. And I want to tell you 3 antidotes to this imposter syndrome, this lie, this truly number one dissertation lie that's out there. First of all, I want to just throw some credit at us faculty. We are smart people most of the time, and we're not easily fooled. We have seen people come through doctoral programs that don't belong sometimes. And chances are, like a high percentage chance, if you're one of those people, we would have told you that by now. And you probably would have found out in your first doctoral class that you are not the type of person that should be here. And who are the types of people that maybe are going to have challenges in a doctoral program? I'm not going to go so far as to say shouldn't be there. Those that have systematic issues in their life that perhaps need to be attended to prior to pursuing doctoral work. And I have a feeling that's not what you're facing. Like some systematic issues might be there could be some issues around finances or some family troubles, like serious family troubles, some health issues that might put a pause on doctoral work. But to say that I don't belong here, what you're saying is that you fooled us smart doctoral folk into believing that you belong here when you don't. And what you're saying is that you've fooled us smart, semi-smart doctoral faculty into believing that you should be here when you're not, and when you shouldn't. And I seriously doubt that is the case. Antidote number 2, what I want to say is that whenever we are doing great things, great doubts come along with that. I mean, if your aspiration today was to go pursue a hamburger, the skies would open up, the roads would clear, and instantly you would have that ability to go find that hamburger. But when you're trying to do something great, something that is a challenge, something that takes more out of you than is customary for a human being to exert, then that's when great doubts follow. And one of the biggest calming things for me, because I've faced many doubts and a lot of challenges along the way, and reading the biographies of really great people and seeing the doubt that they faced, and to think that people, huge names that you might be already thinking of, that I would say are just icons of great human nature, what it's like to be a great human being, and to think that they too experience doubt, and that in many cases, many of them felt like they might be a fake too. That tells me that you probably are, well, no, you definitely are trying to do something great by pursuing this doctoral degree. The last anecdote that I want to pursue with you, Anne, or just mention here, is that just by the fact that you're watching this video tells me that you're already doing this, that you're doing this dissertation thing. Because what, we're like 4 or 5 minutes into this video, and the idea that you're willing to sit here on your time, on your device, paying attention to something that might help you in your dissertation work, that's the mark of a dissertation warrior. Someone that is attempting and daily, hopefully daily, putting in a little bit of time towards this project. So you're not a fake. You're not an imposter. It's a lie. Mark asks, many members of my cohort say to wait until dissertation classes to start writing. What is your take on this? Mark, welcome to the show, and I really appreciate you asking this question. It is the second dissertation lie that I most often see. That the idea of waiting. I did a video about 2 videos ago about when to start your dissertation, and this is one of the most prevalent lies. It's the second most prevalent lie that I see. It's the lie that says, I need to wait, or I should wait until my school puts me in a formal dissertation class or a writing class to start my dissertation process. And in fact, that's what you're robbing yourself of, is progress, by waiting until those classes. And here's why. Dissertation classes are an amazing, great invention. And if your university has dissertation classes embedded into the doctoral work, they should be applauded for that invention and implementing that there. And the reason why is because they're providing a level of support that many other schools do not provide. For me, as a person that's been involved in many different doctoral programs and a person that has worked with many candidates in many doctoral programs, I can tell you that those universities that have those dissertation classes have a level of support that really should be applauded. And if you wait for those classes to start, for you to begin on your process, what you're essentially believing is that those classes are designed to create a dissertation, a completed dissertation. And this is the lie. This is the part of it that's the lie. Dissertation classes will not necessarily create a completed dissertation in the event that the person that's running the class is not your chair, you're not your principal advisor. Because think about it. Let's say that I'm your chair, and you go out and you work with some other faculty member in a class, in a formal class, to create a dissertation draft of some kind. Maybe your initial chapters, your proposal draft, or a prospectus, or a concept paper. And then you come to me as the chair. And what's going to happen? I'm going to have opinions. I'm going to have my own take on what you should pursue and how you should pursue it. And unless you're in a doctoral program that has a high level of consistency between each chair, and there's very few of those, where each chair will be requiring and requesting the same things, there are so few of those programs, then chances are the work in your dissertation class will be assisting in getting towards that final draft that you'll be creating. But it doesn't mean that if you get an A in the dissertation class that you have an accepted dissertation draft. So when should you start? You should start today. You should be reading every day, downloading at least one article from ProQuest. I love ProQuest. It's my favorite database in the whole wide world. It's just so clean and it works so well. Download one article related to a topic in which you're interested, and every day you should be annotating at least one of those articles. So that way you're aware of what's happening in your topic of choice. If you did one article a day, 6 days a week, for the next 5 weeks, think about it. You'd have 30 articles that you've annotated, that you've highlighted, that you've made notes in the columns, that you've underlined quotes or sentences that you think might be useful in the future, versus those individuals that are in those dissertation classes that are not doing that. What they're trying to do is write a paper. And see, what I'm trying to have you do is to engage in a dissertation process. The process, engaging in a literature search and in conducting a literature review, is different than people trying to write a literature review. Those are two different things. Conducting it and writing it are two separate things. So my advice, don't believe the lie. Start reading every day right now. Carissa asks, I already have a literature review and my chair is asking for major revisions. How do you revise an already completed literature review? It's daunting. Hi Carissa, welcome to the show. This is the third lie, the most prevalent lie that I see active out there in dissertation writing world, and that is the lie of I already got one. I already have one. If when you're engaged in a revision process, or someone is asking you to do something, and when your brain says I already have that, I've already done that, is another version of this lie, then this will stop your progress. Because think about it. If your chair is saying major revisions, and based upon the rest of your email that you sent me, I know that these revisions are pretty monumental. I mean, based on what you told me, you're going to have to revise all 40 pages of this thing most likely, and major structural revisions. These aren't minor in any way. So when you have something that already exists, and you want to hold on to that as much as possible, I already got one, is what you're saying, and then you're trying to make your chair happy. The challenge is that you're trying to get that to fit into this new thing. Well, it's so difficult to funnel existing work that wasn't done well into something new that's done really well, right? It's like taking a lawnmower and trying to turn it into a Ferrari. It's impossible. So my best advice for this, first of all, is recognize the lie. Recognize that what your brain is telling you is, I already have this, and I have to change it to make my chair happy. What I'm saying is, you should put this away. And you can use this as the source of great things. You can take quotes from it, sentences from it that you've already created. But in fact, what you're really doing is constructing something entirely new, something foundationally that's brand new, that is that is sorted out in the right way from the start. There is an old professor that I used to work with, and he would just call it the get it out draft. That the initial draft that we do often of something is we're just trying to get everything out of our system. And now that it's on the page, you can now look at it and you can say, well, I know what needs to be in this thing now. How would I organize that if I started all over again? The challenge that you're going to feel is your heart's going to say, I don't want to let go of that draft because I did so much work. This thing took me 8 months to make. And what I'm telling you, and what the lie is that it's going to take you 8 months more to do this new thing. It's not. It's going to take less time to do the new one. In fact, it might only take a few weeks if you're really disciplined and using the right foundational methods to get started. So what are the right foundational methods to get started? In the Dissertation Mentor Accelerator program, I go through this in depth. I'll go through it briefly here. I also go through it in the Dissertation Warrior in depth if you want to check that out there. But basically what you need to do is we need to focus the majority of our time on reading and sorting out that which you're finding in the literature into categories. When you look at your purpose statement, you're going to see that there's nouns, there are terms that appear in your purpose statement. You underline those terms in your purpose statement, and those are the main categories, most likely, that are going to end up in your literature review. So you need to organize that which you've already collected in some fashion away from a final draft. You're not trying to make a new final draft at this stage. You're just trying to organize that which you created before. You're trying to get those quotes, those paraphrase citations perhaps that you have, into a new list for each category. Like let's say you're studying test preparation. You're going to take all the paraphrase quotes that you have from test preparation in your original draft, and you're going to throw it into a document where you're not trying to write paragraphs. You're just listing out those paraphrased quotes for test preparation, test preparation. And then what you're going to do from there is you're going to start looking for holes, and you're going to say, okay, I have 50 paraphrased quotes for test preparation, but I'm doing something about teachers too, but I only have 10 paraphrased quotes there. Then that's where you need to be focusing more on your time. Also, going back earlier to what I said in this video, it's also important that you too are engaged in the daily reading process of going into one article at least, annotating it, pulling out interesting ideas from there that need to be paraphrased, or should be paraphrased, I should say. So in the end, the challenge always is to leave it behind. It's, I already have that. Now right behind that is the final lie that I want to talk about that you're bringing up, which is close to I already have it, is I've already done it. And already done that or already tried it is to say that someone like me is providing you some recommendations about what you should do next in your process. I've worked with a lot of doctoral candidates. If you look at those that have subscribed to this channel, I'm working with a lot of doctoral candidates. This thing of "I've tried it" comes up a lot, and it's failed. They say, "I've tried something in the past and it's failed." And they say, "Dr. Guy, I hear you asking me to do that again, and I'm telling you that it failed before." Well, Carissa, what I'm telling you is that the method that I'm talking about is the method that every doctoral candidate that's finished has taken. And that method starts with you reading every single day at least one article. And maybe not every doctoral candidate has read a single article every day, but you know what? They've read a lot of articles, and they've annotated those articles. If the goal is to have writing done, then you're always going to feel like you're not meeting the requirements, because every time you check in with your chair most of the time is going to say, "No, it needs revision." And then you're going to feel like you failed. And chances are that's what's happened already. You've done so many drafts, and they've said, "No, we need this to be changed." You don't feel like you're making progress. My advice then is to not make that the progress. Make the progress that you every single day are building knowledge, expertise, and familiarity in what's out there in the literature today, and that you're taking what you find in the literature and you're creating some sort of list, some sort of matrix that catalogs all the great things that you're finding. Well, everybody, this is not the last Dissertation Lies episode. I have another one coming right back to this one. There's lots of lies we can discuss. These were the top 3 lies that we can focus on. Please make sure that if you're on YouTube, that you click the subscribe button and ring that bell down there so you can make sure you get the rest of my videos. If you're on Facebook, click that like button. Please do send me some questions. I would love to answer them in the next episode. Tell me what you think the big dissertation lies are. Get into your space, whatever that dissertation writing space is. Give yourself at least 15 minutes today. It's been a pleasure. Take care, team.